Emma Reads Crime here, your fellow crime, thriller and mystery book lover. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I have for you the biggest book haul I have done to date. There are 29 books in total to get through. Yes, it's really annoying that it's not around 30. I was going to nip to the works to buy a book to get the total up to 30, but I can't be bothered. 29 is plenty. I'm going to start off with some PR mail, then go on to the books I picked up at Theakston Crime Festival, and then finish off with books which I've bought. I've said this before and I want to say it again, but I really want to stress that this is not me showing off in any way, shape or form. I personally adore watching other people's book hauls, and hopefully you're here because you're also as incredibly nosy as I am and want to see what books I've picked up recently. First book of PR mail, and this is a book I have extremely high hopes for because I'm seeing people rave about it, and that is The Compound by Aileen Raw. The book is basically the TV show trope, which I've said in the past it's been overdone, but apparently this is fantastic and it's getting rave reviews. There are several rules at The Compound. 1, do not discuss the fact that you're on a TV show. 2, do not discuss your life outside the TV show. And 3, do not harm another resident. And the other rules will come into effect when the boys arrive. All rule breaks will be punished. This sounds so good, and people are saying that even though this does follow the TV show trope, it's a bit different to the norm. Next up, I got sent this absolutely stunning copy of The Rush by Beth Lewis. How stunning is this gold foiling? I don't know much about it, apart from the fact that it's a historical crime book, which is not my favourite kind of crime book, but people are saying that this is incredible, so I'm going to go into it with a completely open mind. I've had a quick look at the blurb, and I think this is one I'm just gonna go into it blind because there's a lot going on in the blurb, which is always really intimidating when blurbs are just filled with too much information. I always think that they run the risk of spoiling it. Next up is a true crime book called Face to Face by Nick Dawson, and it's finding justice for my murdered twin brother. So the author's twin brother was actually murdered in real life, and this is the story about it. Sometimes I think a bit of true crime is in a way a great palate cleanser to break up fiction, and this is quite short. It's about 230 pages, so I think that this is one that will be easy to fly through, but I think it's also going to be really heartbreaking. I then got God of the Woods by Liz Moore, which is a book I saw people rave about last year, and it's finally been released in paperback. I just had a quick skim and oh my gosh, how tiny is that writing. So this is going to be quite a chunky one because it's already about 430 pages, so this might take a while to get through. A 13-year-old girl goes missing at a camp. It is owned by this rich family and all eyes are on them because they're cold and it's happened to them before. 2 children are lost in the wilderness. Is it a tragedy or is there a crime going on? It sounds absolutely brilliant, and I also think the cover is gorgeous. I love these colours. I was then very kindly gifted not 1, not 2, but 3 Chris Hammer books. First up is The Broken River. I was super lucky and I received a proof copy of this book last year. I loved it. I gave it 4.5 stars out of 5, despite the fact it was like book 7 in a series and I hadn't read any of the other books in the series. So the publisher very kindly sent me a completed or finished copy of the book. They then also sent me Silver and Legacy, which are part of the Scrubland series. So this is book 2 and this is book 3. So I think what I'm going to do is buy book 1 of the series first and then read them in order, because if the writing is anything like the series writing in Broken River, it was fantastic. Based on what I read of The Broken River, if you like police procedural books and like nitty gritty crime, then this is an author I definitely think you should check out if you've not already read anything by him before. Next up is The Waterfall by Gareth Rubin. Again, this is a gothic historical crime novel, not my favourite kind of crime novel, but I read Holmes and Moriarty by this author and quite enjoyed it, and I did quite like his writing, and I hear that his other book, Turnglass, is fantastic, and I think this is meant to give more Turnglass vibes, so I'm very excited to give it a go. I'm going to go into it completely blind. I then won a copy of The Good Liar by Denise Mina for myself and Michaela. The tagline of this is, "What will it take to tell the truth when your life depends on a lie. So it sounds like it's going to have some sort of moral dilemma, and I'm very excited to give it a go. I'm going to say that a lot about all the books because I'm just so excited about them all. They sound great. This is quite a short book. It's 250 pages, but the writing is minuscule. Next up is The Woman in Ward 9 by Naomi Williams. I met this author at Theakston Crime Festival and she was so lovely. I think she writes under a few different names. I can't remember what her other author names are. The author is also a fellow Yorkshire woman like myself, so I always feel like I have to support authors who are local to me, even though I don't live in Yorkshire anymore. Laura Winters doesn't know why she's lost her memory or why she was soaked in somebody else's blood. So she starts seeing a psychologist who has 6 days to try and unlock her memories to try and see if she's hiding something or if she's innocent. This looks like it has relatively short, punchy chapters, so I think that this is going to be one that's going to be quite easy to read. A couple of people who I follow have read it and enjoyed it. Next up is Someone in the Water by Sarah Clark. This is set in Corsica, so this is going to give me the perfect excuse to go to Corsica from the comfort of my sofa. This is meant to be really suspenseful, a bit claustrophobic, and filled with loads of really good twists and turns, and I love a good twist. Before I go on to the books which I picked up at Theakston Crime Festival, I have one more piece of PR mail, which is No Safe Place by Hannah Brennan. It's a police procedural type of book and it's meant to be perfect for fans of Nadine Matheson, Helen Fields and Sam Holland. A couple of weeks ago, I went to Theakston Crime Festival in Harrogate, which is one of the biggest crime festivals in the United Kingdom, and it was brilliant. And I managed to pick up 13 books and I didn't spend a penny. I vlogged my whole weekend there if you want to check out that video later, but anyway, these are the books which I picked up. As part of our passes, we got a goodie bag and there were 4 books in there. Everyone in their goodie bag seemed to get a Dan Brown book and I got The Lost Symbol. I'm not a huge Dan Brown fan, so I'll probably give this to charity, to be honest. A book which everybody seemed to get in their goodie bag was A Case of Life and Limb. It's a cozy mystery and it's book 2 following A Case of Mice and Murder. From my understanding, it can be read as a standalone, but it's better to read it following book 1, and seeing as it is only book 2, there's not much of this series to catch up on. The floppage on this isn't too bad, and the blurb is a grisly gift, a gruesome death. It will take a brilliant lawyer to wrap this case up. Another book which seems to be included in all the goodie bags was A Drowning Place by Sarah Hilary. I don't really know anything about it, but all these authors have blurbed it, and surely they can't be lying. So based on that, I think it's going to be great and I'm going to go into it blind. And this book which I got didn't seem to be included for everybody, and that was The Break-In by Catherine Faulkner. So as part of mine and Michaela from What Michaela Reads book club, we read her book The Other Mothers and I thought it was all right. And she's also written Greenwich Park, which is meant to be incredible. Basically, this is a play date gone wrong. There's 2 mothers, their kids are on a play date, there's an intruder and one of the mothers kills this intruder. It sounds like there's definitely going to be some sort of mum drama involved in this, and I do quite like a bit of mum drama. Author Tam Barnett recognised Michaela and I at the Crime Festival and very kindly gifted us both a copy of his book How to Get Away with Murder. How nice is this cover? It's meant to be a dark humour, witty thriller book, perfect for fans of My Sister the Serial Killer and How to Kill Your Family. At Theakston Crime Festival, there's a few pop-ups going on where you can get proofs of books, try and win proofs, get some goodies, there's quizzes, there's a lot going on, and I managed to pick up 4 books from these pop-ups. The first was A Novel Murder by E.C. Nevin. Again, I think that this is a dark humour, witty thriller book, so it's going to be a light, easy read. I then picked up The X's by Leodora Darlington. I think that this is out in February next year, and the author was so lovely. She was stunning and so well dressed, and she just had the best vibe. And I just think that if you like an author, you're very highly likely to like their writing as well. This is a debut for her, and I have very high expectations. I know I keep saying that. I don't want to shock you all if you've not seen my Theakston vlog, but Michaela and I went to a Richard Osman quiz where we were given a proof copy of his upcoming Thursday Murder Club book. If you've been following me for a while, you'll probably know that I am not Richard's biggest fan. He is my nemesis, but I definitely will be reading this because I've not given him a penny, and I'm intrigued, quite frankly. At the Richard quiz, I also picked up The Secret Lives of Murderers' Wives by Elizabeth Arnott. I was speaking to somebody who worked at the publishing house and she said that this is amazing. So basically the tagline is, you've heard of the men who kill, but what about the women who love them? And it sounds, oh, so good. It's out April next year. I don't think I'm going to be able to hold off reading it until then because oh my gosh, it sounds so intriguing. I really like the cover as well. We were also extremely lucky to be invited to a few publisher invite-only events, and I picked up 4 books from these events. On the Friday, Pam Macmillan were hosting drinks, and I picked up Dissection of Murder by Joe Murray. This is going to be out in May 2026, and Alice Feeney has said that it's so gripping, so clever, and so good, so hopefully Alice Feeney's taste in books is as good as her writing. On the Saturday, we went to a Bantam brunch where I picked up Esther Is Now Following You by Tanya Sweeney. This is meant to give baby reindeer vibes, and I love a creepy stalker style book. And then following that, Century hosted some drinks where I picked up 2 books. The first was The Ice Angels by Caroline Mitchell. She is one of my all-time favourite authors, and she was there and she even signed it for me. Oh, so excited. I couldn't believe that I got a copy of this. I believe that this is book 1 in a detective series, and one of Caroline Mitchell's absolute strengths is she writes detective series so well. They don't tend to drag on. She only tends to do a handful of books per series, and they are all excellent, or certainly all the ones I've read have been excellent. My favourite detective series of hers which I've read so far is the D.I. Amy Winters series. If you have Kindle Unlimited, you can read it on there. Then the final book which I picked up, I also picked up from the Century Brunch, and that is The Pie and Mash Detective Agency by J.D. Brinkworth. I saw Michaela pick this up at the Theakston Crime Festival, and again, it's a cozy mystery, but it sounded just quite wholesome, and sometimes that's what you need. Sue Perkins and Jonathan Ross have blurbed this, and you don't come across, or I certainly find I've not come across much, celebrities blurbing books, so yeah, I think this is going to be great. If you've made it this far, then thank you ever so much. If you're not already doing so and are able to hit that subscribe button, I would really appreciate it. Now on for the books which I've bought. I picked up, well technically my mum and dad very kindly picked up The Suitcase Kid, but these were picked up from charity shops as part of a Jacqueline Wilson vlog that I'm doing. I need to actually get a wriggle on with that because I've only bought 2 books so far as part of the vlog, and I'm planning on posting it towards the end of the month. I then picked up Watch Me, Watch You by Lily Sampson. This is meant to be amazing. It was available at the Century Brunch, but I don't want to be greedy and take too many, and this ended up being less than £8 in Asda, so I thought it'd be rude not to. The Magnolia Park series by Jessa Hastings is a guilty pleasure of mine, so I picked up The Conditions of Will by the same author. Look how stunning the cover is, and also look at these end pages. They are absolutely gorgeous. This book is available on Kindle Unlimited, so I'm probably going to read the book on Kindle Unlimited because I don't want to spoil this in any way, shape or form. I have no idea what it's about, but I'm hoping it's going to be toxic and trashy in a good way, like the Magnolia Park series. I know it looks like I haven't bought very many books, but what I haven't included is the books which I bought at 66 Books a few weeks ago. I did some serious damage there, so if you've not watched that vlog already, then make sure to check it out there. Also, we're in the middle of summer and I have a video on summer thriller books which I'd recommend, which is here. Thank you ever so much for taking your time to watch this video. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you. Bye.